Alrighty, we are recording. So we are going to get started with our Going Gold training. And guys, just like all of this business, there's no secrets, right? Like it's all of us doing the same thing consistently over and over again. How do I get this started? There we go, play. Okay. Can everyone see that? Just give me a nod if you can see that. Thank you. Okay. So, belief is always our foundation, guys. That everything about this business, everything about sharing Plexus and building your network and reaching out to your network and then building a team and sharing this, everything, it always comes back to belief. When you're discouraged, it comes back to your belief. When you're doing well, you can probably point to the fact that your belief is doing really well. So we're always going to talk about belief because that is the foundation that we are able to then reach out to people. So belief in the products, you have to be convinced that these products can change people's lives. Otherwise, you will be timid and cautious, and your sharing will be more in the form of a suggestion rather than a confident statement of saying, you need to try this, right? Instead, it'll just be like, oh, you should probably look into this or consider it. But if you are convinced that these products can change people's lives, then when you share them with people, it is going to be with confidence. You're going to be saying, you have got to look into this, and you're going to be making confident statements like, I have no doubt that these products could help you. So belief in the products, belief in the company. This one is kind of hard to grasp, and I think it takes time and experience with the company to really, you're trusting this company, but you're representing it to people. Anytime that you are sharing Plexus with someone, you're representing the company. And so the more that you can get to know the company and the executive board and what this company is all about, what morals they have, things like the fact that they're debt-free, things like the fact that they designed their compensation plan for their ambassadors, just things that set them apart as being an awesome company, the things that they do for us and really take us into consideration, enables you to share Plexus boldly. Okay, our compensation plan, I've said it before, I will always say it, is you need to know our compensation plan. You need to sit down with it, get to know it, map it out. Map out what it would look like to be gold, to say, okay, I'm going to have 100 pay points, and let's say maybe my PV is around, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 or whatever. But map it out, because maybe right now your paychecks are real small and you haven't seen the potential of the compensation plan yet. It is amazing. So you have to be confident in the compensation plan, and we'll get into that later as you start sharing it with people. And lastly, your belief in yourself. And guys, I was just telling my husband yesterday, like 6 months ago when I started, 5 months ago, as I would hear things about positive affirmations or believing in yourself or whatever, I pretty much just rolled my eyes and even just questioned whether or not it was a right way to think. But I've really become convinced that it's not a self-confidence in that, like, I, in and of myself, am able, because I believe most of us here are Christians and we have a friendship with God. And so it's not a self-confidence of like, I can do this all by myself, but it's just a confidence that, like, I can do this, that you can look at other diamonds or other successful ambassadors and honestly say to yourself, if they can do it, I can do it. And so it is just belief in yourself. Okay. Running a marathon, not a sprint. When you're building a team, this is not a race. So the first bullet point, there's no rush. And the great thing about Plexus is because we don't have quotas to meet and we don't have deadlines and timelines, that this is all up to you. You set your own pace. So if you want to grow a team quickly, then you can set that pace. If you want to be more casual and just take your time and have this as a side business, that can be your pace. But either way, there's no rush. You set your own pace. Just like if you're running a marathon, running a long, long race, you need to set a pace and go with it. Enjoy the journey and prioritize people. This has been my lesson this month, December. This was my lesson. Enjoy the journey, prioritize people. If you are focused on numbers and pay points and ranks and paychecks, you will not enjoy this journey, because this journey is an up and down, all around type journey. There's really very little consistency. As I look at each month that I've been with Plexus, every month has been different. My team has grown differently every single month. It has never been the same. So you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy the fact that you're helping people, right? That your focus is on people, not just the numbers. Yes, our numbers important because we do have goals in mind, and we do want to reach those goals and things like that. Yes, but always remembering that those numbers represent people, and we're wanting to take care of people. Do what is best for your potential customers and ambassadors. So, man, like, for example, this month, I am 6 people away from ranking. I could really set people aside this month and just focus on the numbers and just go hard of trying to get, 6 ambassadors active this month or whatever. But I can wait. I can wait another month. You know what I mean? Even though my goal was to rank this month, I can wait. And I'm not going to set people aside just to obtain my goal, if that makes sense. So do what is best. A marathon still requires strategy, consistency, and persistency. So just because it's a marathon, and just because you set your own pace, you're still setting goals. You're still working hard. By saying, oh, this is a marathon, that doesn't mean like, oh, I can just take it easy or throw my hands up in the air or whatever. No, we're still working hard, but knowing that it's going to take time. Okay, so that's kind of big picture. Going gold, the logistics of it. You need 100 pay points to rank gold. This is approximately 20 to 22 active ambassadors. What does active mean? It means that they are commission qualified. So they have over 100 PV for that month. So you earn pay points for an ambassador when they have 100 PV for the month. So in other words, let's just say we're looking at level 1 through 3 ambassadors. They're each worth 5 pay points. You need 20 ambassadors to have over 100 PV in a month to go gold. That would give you 100 pay points. You earn a one-time $250 rank achievement bonus when you go gold. So that is the details of it. That's what you're shooting for. If you're thinking in your mind, I want to go gold, you're thinking, I want 20 active ambassadors. Okay. PC or ambassador. PC is a preferred customer. So this is important, guys, as you're thinking long-term about building your team. You're wanting to be careful not to just sign people up as ambassadors just so that you are that much closer to ranking. You really want to put the person first and think what is best for them. Should they be a preferred customer or should they be an ambassador? So here's some things you should be asking yourself as someone is saying, okay, I'm interested, I want to do this, what would you recommend? So the first question you're going to ask is, are they wanting to try it out? If that is their mentality, if they're thinking, I'm not sure what I want to do with Plexus, I just want to try it out to begin with. Well, that's automatically, they need to be a preferred customer. You don't want to sign an ambassador. You don't want to sign someone to be an ambassador if there is a likely chance, like 2 to 4 months from now, they're going to drop off. I would much rather have a preferred customer drop off than an ambassador. You want ambassadors to have a certain level of commitment. So that brings me to the next point. What is their commitment level? Is it about 2 months, or are they thinking a bit more long-term, like 4 to 6 months? If it's 2 months, then make them a preferred customer. Let them know about the 60-day money-back guarantee. Let them know, if you are just wanting to try it out for a couple months, order as a preferred customer. You always have that 60-day money-back guarantee to fall back on. And if after 2 months you really like the products or you really want to consider the business, then we can talk about upgrading to be an ambassador. If they're thinking more like, no, I really want to give this a go with the products, about 4 to 6 months, well then I go ahead and sign them as an ambassador because it saves them money. It's less likely that they would drop off if they're already saying, I want to do this. And then, of course, obviously, I didn't put this on there, but, are they interested in the business is the next question. Well, then obviously they'd be an ambassador. But the last point is kind of important, guys. I would much rather flip a happy customer, and flip just means to upgrade. I would much rather upgrade a happy preferred customer than lose a disappointed ambassador. If you have a happy preferred customer, they're not going anywhere. If they're loving the products and loving the results, upgrade them to an ambassador and they're not going anywhere. You can count on them being on your team. But if you sign someone up as an ambassador and they're just with you for a couple months and then the products didn't work out or whatever, they're just not happy with their products, their results, and they quit, you are probably never going to get them back. They're probably gone. So don't rush someone into being an ambassador just for the sake of you having one more person towards, on your team. Plus, from a compensation plan standpoint, and if we are thinking numbers in terms of a paycheck, you get paid more for a preferred customer ordering a triplex than an ambassador ordering a triplex. So keep that in mind too, that maybe you think, oh, they're not going to be on my team as an ambassador, but preferred customer, you're getting commission and a bonus. So it balances out. There's business advantages to both of those. But basically, the one thing I want to emphasize with this slide is just don't rush someone into being an ambassador if they're not ready for it. If they're very hesitant, if they're not sure about the products, you want them to have a bit of belief before signing them up as an ambassador. Okay, dream team. You should always be thinking about your dream team. You should always have that list of people that you are wanting to talk to them about the business. I always like to have about 3 people at a time that I'm talking to about the business every month. That's why we talk about going silver every month. You always want to have about 3 people that you're talking to about the business. Maybe the products too, but specifically you're wanting to be sharing the compensation plan with them. You're wanting to share why they would be awesome at it. You're wanting to expose them to the company and business and the potential, the possibilities, how it could help them. But it takes time. So give them time. You are pursuing them and winning them over. So it really is a process that you are building their belief. This is before they've even signed on as an ambassador. You're building their belief that you believe they could do this. You believe they would be awesome at this. You believe they could earn money with Plexus. And you believe that it could really, truly impact their life. And you're talking to them in those terms, in those ways that you're saying all of those things, that you would be amazing at this, and here's why. Here's the compensation plan. It could impact your family. So, and last point, again, give them time. I said it twice because it takes time from the point of approaching someone purely about the business to when they actually take that jump. It takes time for people. They need to see you doing well. That helps build their belief. They need to be exposed over and over again to the possibility and the potential, and their belief needs to be built. But you should always be talking to people about the business, that we're not just sharing products, we are sharing this opportunity as well. So I probably share the business more than I do the products, but I share the products as well, by all means, because they've equally changed my life. So you're always thinking in terms of your dream team. Okay, sharing that compensation plan as you're sharing with your dream team and people about the business. You need to know, first of all, you need to know and understand our compensation plan. People will be drawn to you when you sound knowledgeable and confident about the business and the company and the products and the compensation plan. I just had someone tell me the other day, she's a brand new customer. She just ordered, and she's actually someone I talked to months ago and just said, hey, are you familiar with Plexus? I just opened up a conversation. She said, yes, I am. And so I kind of crossed her off my list. I kind of put her down as a no because she had said she's familiar with Plexus. I don't know if she had tried it before. I think she had tried it before, actually. And I was like, all right. And I just kind of moved on. Well, earlier this month, she was posting on Facebook about how sick she's been lately. And I mean, like, severely sick. And I shot her a quick message and just said, this is a total rabbit trail, but I thought I would share it with you guys anyways. I just shot her a quick message. And this girl is not my best friend. We actually are more of acquaintances than anything. Just kind of our lives crossed paths at one point and kind of went separate ways, but we're essentially Facebook friends. I just shot her a quick message and I said, hey, I'm so sorry that you've been so sick lately. I just want to let you know I'm here to talk about Plexus if you ever want more information, and praying for you. And I just shot a quick message. That's all I said. I just threw it out there and said, I've got Plexus here if you're ever interested to learn more. Well, she wrote me back, said, okay, I'll take the information. I'm not making any promises, but I'll look into it. So I sent her the information. Well, sure enough, we corresponded a couple times and she said, okay, she said, do you really think this could help me? And I said, absolutely. Based on her health issues, I said, I have no doubt Plexus could help you. And again, that confidence of saying, absolutely, this could help you. What you're saying your health is, yes, Plexus could help you based on what I know about Plexus. So she placed a significant order for herself and her husband, and afterwards sent me this long message just thanking me. And she said, she was real sweet. She signed up as a preferred customer, but she said, I won't be posting anything about Plexus on Facebook. And I was like, oh, don't worry about that. She said, I used to buy Plexus from this one girl, but you have just been able to answer my questions so thoroughly, and you've sounded so much more knowledgeable. You've just really set me at ease, and I just felt really comfortable ordering from you instead of her. And I said, well, thank you. That's so sweet of you. But it just reminded me, like, man, people could know other ambassadors, and yet if you are sharing confidently and with knowledge, people will trust you. Absolutely. So all that to say, the same goes with the compensation plan. If you can confidently and accurately share the compensation plan with people, and I'm not talking about the nitty-gritty details, but just the potential, right? The potential and the average monthly and annual incomes and things like that. Second point, if you believe in the ability of the comp plan to change someone's life, if you really believe it could change someone's life, you will share it just as much or more than the products. Okay? If you believe that anyone can earn a sustainable income with Plexus, you will share it with everyone. Why wouldn't you? Okay? If you're convinced that anyone can do this, and if you're convinced that it could change their life, you will share it with them. It just kind of is a logical sequence. So you need to be confident and believe these things. And if the belief isn't there, then that's something you should talk about with your sponsoring ambassador of how to build that belief in the comp plan. Again, because maybe you're still making a very, very small paycheck and you haven't seen the big potential yet. So building that belief early on is important. And for me, I had it after 2 days. I signed up, I ordered my products on July 4th, and by July 6th, I was writing Rachel Hofsteth saying, I want to do this because I just caught the vision. I was like, I'm ready to do this. Okay, as you're sharing the comp plan, you want to make confident statements. Again, this is part of building people's beliefs. So these are things that I actually say to people. I say things like, this is something you need to consider. So I almost get very serious with them in a sense of saying, like, I don't want you to tell me no until you've heard me out, because you need to consider this before you just say, I'm not interested, or I don't like sales, or whatever. And I'm like, no. You need to consider this. I also say things like, I'm on track to replacing my income, or, I'm on track to replacing my husband's income, I'll also say things like, my goal is to earn enough by this summer to fill in the blank, But it's all of those statements are communicating confidence and belief that this is not just a hobby. This isn't just like a comp plan that can just kind of pay your electric bill every month, right? Like, I'm making statements like, I plan on Plexus being my family's sole income, 12 months from now or 2 years from now, whatever your timeline is, whatever your pace is that you're setting for yourself, making those confident statements to people. I share the Ambassador Challenge document. So this is a document I came up with my very first month with Plexus, because I was watching all these videos and I had caught the vision of the compensation plan in the business. And I was like, this is what I need to share with people, not just the products. I need to be sharing this opportunity. So the Ambassador Challenge document is just simply that. It's just some videos that were impactful for me for catching the vision, and I share them with people. And I always schedule a time to follow up. The part of giving them time is that you are continually following up with them. I really encourage getting on the phone with them answering questions. The more time you just go back and forth on Messenger or email, it at some point it's just easier to say, let's set up a phone call. I want to talk to you so I can answer all your questions for you. There's something about them hearing your voice that I think sets people at ease, that not only can you communicate your belief and your confidence about it all, but also just your heart behind it, that they can hear that you're not just trying to sell them or win them over or whatever, that you're really convinced this could help them out. And you're really wanting to say, you could do this, and this could really change your life. And this isn't about me. Like, this is about you right now, and I'm wanting to share this with you because it could really change your life. So getting on the phone is always a good option. And then when you're talking to them, determine a good next step. Sometimes the next step is not jumping in as an ambassador. Sometimes it might be sending them a sample. Sometimes it might be them doing like a 7-day trial, joining the 7-day trial group. Maybe it's them ordering as a preferred customer. Maybe they want that cushion of having the 60-day money-back guarantee. And so you say, why don't you go ahead and place an order as a preferred customer? If you don't like the products, you can get all your money back. But then at least maybe that's a good step. Maybe the next good step is you giving them what I like to say, a gentle shove, okay? So I never want to be manipulative or use pressure, put too much pressure on people to where they feel like their arm is twisted to do this. But I do want, let me just make sure, there we go. I do at times give people that gentle nudge they need to jump in. That if they're to the point where nothing really is holding them back, they're just kind of at the point of being indecisive, I'll go ahead and say to them, I do not want to push you into this. I don't want you to be able to look back and think like, Amanda, what did Amanda get me into? I'll tell them, but if you need me to push you a little bit, just let me know, because I will give you a little nudge and say, let's just do this, right? Like, let's just do this. Let's get you signed up. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's do this. And people appreciate that because they hear that my intention is not to get them into something that they don't want to be into, but sometimes they are even able to recognize, like, I'm just being indecisive at this point. I just either need to do it or not do it. So sometimes that is the good next step. And lastly, one thing, I put Team McMaster, but if any of you here are with Team Wilkinson as well, you can talk to Laura about this. But guys, I do this all the time. I will tell people, I'll send them the Ambassador Challenge document and I'll say to them, hey, why don't I add you to our team page for about a week? And you can be nosy and you can snoop around and you can get a feel for what we do. And look in the files. There's tons of information under the files tab. And I think people really like it because it gives them like a behind closed doors kind of feel, like a behind the scenes type feel. And I'll put them in Team McMaster for a week and or Plexus Power Team for a week. And just kind of leave it there and let them, I see that they've been seeing posts and things like that. And then a week later, I'll follow up and say, hey, what did you think? Have you been able to watch the videos from the document? What did you think of the team page? And it's just another point to follow up with them. And it takes the mystery away from it all. It also shows them that there's a community and there's training and there's other people that you're doing this with, that you're not by yourself, right? Like, you guys all understand what the team pages are like, but someone who's never done this has no idea we have team pages, we have training, and we have a community, we have people to work together with. So that is a great little tool to throw them on the team page for a week and then just take them out of the group. If they choose not to move forward, or if they choose to move forward, then they're already in the team. Okay, starting a team. So if you have your eyes set on gold or even further, and when I started out my very first month, I said to Rachel, what would be a good goal for me to start with? And she said, well, going silver, getting 3 ambassadors and getting a few customers. I said, well, what about going gold? And she said, go for it. So I had no idea what that meant. I didn't even have my products yet, but in my mind, I was like, I want 20 ambassadors this first month. So from the beginning, my mindset was, I am building a team. I want a team of people that I can work with together, to do this together and build teams together. So if you are shooting for gold, you have to think this way. You cannot think any other way but this, that you are starting a team and you are going to be the team leader and you're running together with them side by side, but you are leading the team. I'd encourage you to create a team page early on. You know, they say if you want to be diamond, start acting like a diamond. Start doing things that diamonds do. And I heard that my first month, and I thought, well, Melissa has a team page and Rachel has a team page. I guess I'll start a team page. So I started a team page early on. I just had a handful of ambassadors, I think like 5 or 6, and I had a handful of customers, and I started my team page, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew I was starting a team. And so having a team page early on, I think also helps with momentum, because you're communicating to your team that, hey, we're a team. We're in this together. Meet each ambassador where they're at and help them take that next step. What do they want out of the business? So I was just talking with one of my ambassadors today. I have full belief that she could go diamond if she wanted to, but she's not there. She just wants to supplement her family's income. She doesn't even want to go gold. She wants to go about like halfway to gold. And she's like, that'd be awesome if I could make about $500 a month. I'm like, okay, let's work towards that then. Now, what do I think is going to happen when she goes about halfway to gold? Well, she's going to start seeing the potential, and maybe she'll stop there, but I have a good idea that she'll keep going, or someone on her team will want to keep going. But at the beginning, you want to meet each ambassador where they're at with the business and help them take that next step. Because you're thinking in terms of a team, you want to reach out to your whole downline. So you are not just interacting with your level 1s. You are reaching out to your level 2s, level 3s, oftentimes down to your level 5s once you have them. But it is not uncommon for people to reach out down to their level 3s. So Melissa has a team page just for her level 1 through 3s that she is pouring into them. And as she pours into them, that training trickles down into the rest of her team. So as you get level 2s, as you get level 3s, reach out to them, introduce yourself, make yourself available to them, because maybe your level 1 that signed them is just approaching the business very casually. But maybe your level 2 wants to hit it hard. And so you just never know. There's all sorts of circumstances. But if they are in your downline, they are on your team, and you need to be reaching out to them, making yourself available to them. Okay, duplicate yourself, duplicate your upline. Don't reinvent the wheel. Guys, I came into this business with a tad of arrogance and thought like, oh, I see how they're doing it, but I think it could be done differently. And not that I was intentionally trying to be arrogant, but as my time has gone on, I've thought, okay, they're doing it the right way and it works the way they're doing it. So I do not need to reinvent this business, okay? The way that Melissa is doing it works, and the way that Rachel is doing it works, and the way that all these other ambassadors are doing it, it works. So you do not need to reinvent this business. You need to do what your upline is doing. It's kind of like one of those situations where you just say, yes, ma'am, tell me what I need to do and I will do it type thing. And if you can be open and teachable and flexible in that way, and if you are open to constructive criticism to your upline saying, hey, you know, I saw you doing this, or you might want to consider this, or have you tried this, whatever, saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, I will do it. Because it works, right? And they're successful for a reason. So look at how your upline is working the business and do that. All right, so team mindset. You are leading a team. With that in mind, personal development is a must. Again, I believe most of you here are Christians. If you are not stable in your relationship with God and others, you will crumble on the hard days. And there are hard days, and the hard days get easier the more you go along. But the days where you have, like this month, as far the beginning of the month, I had everything lined up to rank this month, and now I'm 6 people short. honestly, 3 months ago, it would have crushed me. I would have been like, oh, I'm not reaching my goals and everyone's quitting and whoa. But now I have perspective and I've grown a bit and I understand the business more and understanding the joy of the journey. But all that to say, there must be stability in your relationship with God and others around you, your family and friends, to support you in the ups and downs. Okay, you need to be learning about the business, about network marketing, reading books, watching YouTube videos, asking your upline questions often. You need to be learning how to better communicate, how to better answer questions, how to better challenge people, how to invest in your team, but you have to continue learning. So that should be part of your routine, definitely on a weekly basis, if not daily. Plan to attend corporate events. Okay, I know a lot of you are going to Super Saturday. I'm so excited. I hope that you already have Vegas on your radar, and maybe it seems a bit more doable to drive, like 4 hours or less to go to a Super Saturday, but you're looking at Las Vegas in June and thinking, yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen. Get that thinking out of your mind and start thinking and writing down. When it comes down to writing your goals in January, I want you to write down, I am going to Vegas in June. Okay, convention is huge for training and building your belief and training and learning more. Plan to get there. I got some extra spending money for Christmas. That money is getting set aside for my plane ticket to Vegas. I am going there, no doubt. Corporate events are huge for you and your team, and get your team to those events as well. Okay. I think this is my last. Oh, yep, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, sorry. So yes, lastly, income producing activity, and then we will definitely have time for questions. So that's good. Set monthly goals. This is like a no-brainer, guys. You should be setting, if you are looking to build a team, if you are looking to go gold, if you are looking to work this business, like you cannot do this business without setting monthly goals. Well, how do you do that? I'm not going to go into it a ton now, but let me just say this. Everyone's goals should be different. We're going back to the fact that you are setting your own pace. So that pace is going to determine what your goals are, but also looking at the past. So looking at the past month and saying, well, how did I do last month? How did I do the month before? Because if you got, 1 ambassador your first month and 2 ambassadors last month, to put 10 ambassadors down for this month isn't realistic, So you want to be realistic about your goals, but you don't want your goals to be so easy that they're not motivating you and driving you and pushing you to work harder. So there is like a balance of, you don't want them to be unachievable to where at the end of the month you're discouraged because you're like, I got 2 ambassadors instead of 10. But you don't want them to be so easy that, you hardly feel motivated to work every day. So set monthly goals, write them down, post them where you can see them. I have mine on my desktop, on my laptop. I also have them in a notebook, my Plexus notebook. I also have them up on my fridge. So, and this month I'm going to start putting them on my bathroom mirror as well. Write them down. Make copies of them. Put them everywhere. Put them in your car. Okay, daily income producing activity. Every day doing income producing activity. So what is not income producing activity is scrolling on Facebook is not income producing. Posting on Facebook. Yes, you need to do that, but then get off Facebook if you need to. Income producing activity is reaching out to new contacts, reaching out to your dream team, following up with potentials, and following up with your current customers and ambassadors. So you're checking in with your customers. How are they doing? Do that about once a month. And then following up with your ambassadors on either once a week or every other week for training, checking in with them. How can you help them meet their goals? Again, we can do, this would probably be another good training, all of this type stuff. This is something I'm going to strongly, strongly, strongly encourage my team to do starting in 2016. Host a monthly event every single month. So host a sip and see, host an online Zoom event. In person, I think, is always better than online, but online, none of my team is local to me. I wish you guys lived closer to me. But host a monthly event for your team. What if you only have 2 ambassadors on your team? Host a monthly event for them, okay? Host a Zoom meeting, host a sip and see. Get together, work together as a team. Maybe it's a 7-day trial challenge. You know, we've already got one going for January, but maybe in February you host your own for your team. Lastly, 3-way calls. 3-way calls are great. It's you and, well, there's different scenarios. It can be your upline and you talking to a potential customer and ambassador. It could be your upline and you training. It could be a training call with a new ambassador. It could be you and your level 1 ambassador talking to a potential, or you and your level 1 ambassador training. Do a training call together. But 3-way calls, getting on the phone is always a good thing to incorporate in your business for sure. It's something I've been doing since my first month working. So goals. Reaching out to new people, and again, that's part of your goals, is how many people do you want to reach out to this month? Do you want to reach out to 2 a day? Do you want to do 1 a day? Do you want to do 5 a week? How many people, at least, you're talking to 3 people about the business every month, hopefully, following up with them, hosting a monthly event, 3-way calls. So let's stop share, and all right, we've got quite a crowd here tonight. So glad y'all are here. So I, at this point, am going to open it up for questions. How are we doing on time? We're doing mighty fine. So go ahead and unmute yourself and speak up, and I'd love to answer questions.
Hey, it's Christiana.
Hi, girl.
I didn't know that you could add people to the team page and then take them off. How do I have to ask you to do that? And if so, how?
For my team, like if you're on Team McMaster, I would say go for it, because it's something that I think really helps people kind of see what we're doing, So yeah, I would say if you're talking to someone and they're considering it, like they're, you've asked them to consider it and they're like, sure, I'll think about it. Go ahead and add them on there and, give it a week and then take them off. And I'm good with that. Like, we have nothing to hide on there,
Yeah, but how do you take them off after that week? That's what I don't.
Yeah, you go on the team page, there's a members tab. And you can scroll through the members, and I think there's just a little button. You right-click on their name. Or maybe I might need to do it. Maybe because I'm admin. You can just let me know. If it's not something you guys can do, then just let me know, hey, I added this person a week ago. Can you take them off? And that's gotcha. Easy.
Okay.
Amanda, how do you handle when you're talking with the people strictly about the business? And I mean, everybody I think can benefit from the products, but when your initial contact with them has been for the purpose of sharing the business, and I, by the way, totally agree. It seems like it's a very long process because it takes people a lot of time. It's different than like oh, I'm so excited, I want to share this with everybody. That's different than the first time they hear about it is you saying, you'd be amazing at sharing this. And they're like, sharing what? I don't even know what this is.
Right.
I've had multiple people, one person in particular that was just like, well, I don't really feel comfortable with this idea of, jumping in until I, even know what this is. And that idea of belief and everything, I wrote down what you said about sharing samples and just kind of giving them almost like an opportunity to get more familiar with it. But for a couple conversations I've had going for over a month, I just feel like they've stalled.
Right.
And I don't know, like I've shared diamond documentaries that are very like person specific that match this person's personality. I've shared, like monthly income. I've tried really hard to make it very personal for each one that I'm talking with, but I'm just wondering, like, how do you overcome just feeling like the conversation is stalled, especially with the holidays, because I've pulled back and I know they're busy, and it's like, I don't want to lose that momentum, but at the same time, I don't know how to even go forward, I guess.
Yeah. I think first of all, don't be afraid of that silence, because I think it lets them know that you're not pushing anything on them, like you're like, I'm going to throw this out there, but I'm just going to let it lie. Like it communicates like I'm in no rush. I'm not going anywhere. Plexus isn't going anywhere. Let's just keep talking about this, So yeah, I have this one gal I've been talking to since my very first month, and she was interested in the products, and she was flat out like, my family needs these products. We can't afford them. So, followed up with a long time about the products, and throughout the business right away, early on, because I was already convinced, I was like, you guys could supplement your income with this. And no, I'm not, I'm not a salesman. Okay, no problem. And let it lie. Well, then as sales would come up, or I would just do normal follow-up with her, 7-day trial groups, whatever. She would let me know, like, we're still interested in the products. We just don't have the money. And I would just come out and say, you need to think about doing this, and I don't even know this girl that well. She was a student at the Bible school that I hardly knew, but like we're Facebook friends. So finally one day I sat down and I wrote her and her husband together, because, she was saying her husband was kind of skeptical. So I wrote him and I directed the note to him and said, like, you guys need to consider that. Like, I did my whole, you need to consider this spiel and share the business and the potential and everything. Dead silence. I know they're still interested, but I don't think I've talked to them since October, but she's still on my list. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with silence, and I'm okay because I know as I continue to grow in the business, I just have that much more to point to say, see, it works. Like, this isn't just a hobby. Like, I'm not making this up. So, all that to say, don't be afraid of time passing. Again, like, we get into that sense of like, I'm ready to grow my team now, but it's like my team isn't ready to grow yet, in a sense of like, it's this like thing you have to treat with respect. The other thing is just, the on a scale of 1 to 10 tool of just saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, like 10 being you are ready to jump in and do this, like, where would you put yourself? And if she's like, I'm at a 3, okay, well, that lets you know you still have a lot more work to do in terms of building her belief and getting her to where she could be a 10. And so, then your follow-up question can be, well, what is keeping you from being a 10? Well, I don't know what the products are, or, well, I don't know this. But then it gives you some specific points to start working toward, that it's not just this vague, oh, I don't want to be an ambassador. It's like, well, why not? Like, what is keeping you from wanting to do this? and then you have some objections you can work through. Okay, is it the products? Well, I'm going to send you a 7-day trial and let you try out the products. Or I'm going to add you to 5 testimonial pages, so you can see that these are changing people's lives. Or I'm going to get you on a 3-way call with my upline, and she's a normal person, like just like us, like let's just the 3 of us talk a bit more about this. So it's when you're just sharing the business with people, it's a combination of giving it time, but never giving up. Keep following up and finding out what is keeping them from jumping on board, and then working through those hurdles, I guess.
Yeah. And it's funny because one of the people that I've been talking with, like, ran into my mom. She lives in the same area as my parents do. And I came up or something, and this person immediately connected me with Plexus. She's like, yeah, she really wants me to try Plexus, and she's been contacting me about it. And my mom, she says, oh, that's cool. And my mom's not like doing it or anything.
Right.
And this person ended up saying to my mom, well, it's just been so crazy with the holidays, but I really do want to try it. And I have like a lot of weight that I'd really like to lose. And I hadn't contacted her about health. I had just contacted her about the business.
Yeah.
So it was so interesting. I thought, well, for goodness sake, that's because I know she gets all it's like the weirdness of Facebook where you can see they've read your message, and it's like,
yeah,
she had that very positive, all positive things to say, but then I hadn't heard that. So I was like, well, it's convenient that you ran into my mom, because otherwise I would have thought that you had like no desire whatsoever to do this. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, chances are they need the products too. You know what I mean? It's like our products are that's the great thing about our products. It's like chances are they need a good multivitamin, or chances are their energy and sleep aren't good. Like 9 out of 10 times people are going to be like, yeah, I don't sleep well and I have terrible energy. Okay, so.
Yeah, and the other person that I'm talking with is just busy. Like she works 3 different jobs or something crazy.
Yeah.
And that makes it really hard to get in contact with her and get her to like have enough time to talk to me.
Yeah.
But I've actually referenced that in messages like, oh man, my upline replaced 2 of her jobs with this. Like, and you would be great at this. This is not something that would require as much time as what you're having to spend on all these jobs. And
yeah.
I don't know.
And people like that too, you want to get them to events. So if they don't live near you, you do a Zoom event just for them. You know what I mean? Like you schedule a Zoom event and say, I want you there. Or, you do a sip and see, and it's like, I want you there. So, yeah, getting them to events is huge too, because they hear more than just probably what you've said in your correspondence as well. But yeah, I had a girl contact me like 2 or 3 weeks ago about the business. She was like, hey, and again, I don't know her. I know her fiance. She said, hey, my fiance said I should talk to you about this business. Well, we got on the phone and starting from scratch. I mean, she doesn't even know what Plexus is. She just knows her fiance said, hey, I really trust Amanda and she makes money doing this. You should look into it because you can't get a job. So we talked and we set up a phone date, and I said, the 7-day trial would be a next great step. And so I contacted her today about the 7-day trial. She said, you know what? I am so busy right now. I can't even think about this. Probably, after I get married in May. So I told her, I said, okay, you can count on me following up with you in May. And she was like, okay, sounds good. So yeah, she's on my list, but I've got 5 months before I can talk to her about it. But yeah, I'm always thinking in terms of who can I add to my team, who could work this, but knowing like it's going to take time to get them. I mean, Vicki Brown, is a senior Ruby on Melissa's team, and she told Melissa no, like flat out no for, I don't know, like 3 or 5 times before finally her family was in a pinch financially, and she said, all right, I'll do this. So yeah, it just takes time. Alrighty, anyone else have a question? Alrighty, guys. Well, there's just 3 of you left. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I am really, one of my goals for January is to do more team trainings, hopefully like every other week. And I'll probably post something soon if there's day preferences, but I'm thinking Tuesday or Thursday nights, because that's what would work for us, or even Monday. Anyways, but I think it's just going to be important for all of us to kind of get together a couple times a month and just keep talking about the business and learning and asking questions. I just think everyone benefits from it, and teams that are growing, this is what they're doing. So it's one of those things of, it's like my upline's doing it, so I need to do it too. Not going to reinvent the wheel. So definitely count on more trainings, and keep working to get your team on these trainings. So the more that they can plug in, the better. But as long as you're here, you guys can pass all this information on to them as well. And I did record tonight, so hopefully, assuming it all worked, I'll be able to post it tomorrow.